So today's YFP 101, we are going to be going over, here we go, how to promote, get into bug, how to promote your websites. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join this class. So in today's live training, we're going to go over how do you promote your different YFP websites, lead captures, that type of thing, specifically focusing in on the lead captures. So this class is for you if you're not sure which sites to promote, you're struggling to get web traffic, and you just need a little bit more help. So if any of those apply, then you're in the right place. So in today's live training, we're going to talk about where to find your websites, which sites to promote, how to promote them, and all that other good stuff on there, which has, by the way, simplified since the last time I did this. So I'm super excited. So if you're new to YFP and you don't know much about us, I'll just share a little tidbit. Maybe if my button will button, there we go. So your Freedom Project, or YFP for short, is a 360-degree ecosystem of tools and training that can help you find new builders, find new customers, and increase sales and retention. And YFP addresses the three specific areas that builders struggle with in Shaklee. The first one, not knowing where to go to find people to talk to. The second, not knowing what to do with the people they find. And third, not having a formula or plan to stay on track and measure success. And YFP supports your growth in three main ways with tools, training, and support. Okay, so let's jump into this. So why would you want to use websites for your Shaklee business? In particular, why would you want to use third-party websites to help your Shaklee business? So there's a couple reasons why that is important. So before the internet, now of course, we had to prospect and educate using physical media, right? So pamphlets, I'm sure a lot of us still have pamphlets hanging around that we send out. If you wanted to create interest in the business, you had to hand out a tape, a CD, a DVD, some sort of info pack, which, by the way, they're not irrelevant. They can just be used a little differently, which is really cool, which often contained some brochure and a video, okay? Now, if you wanted your customer or builders to read some material, you had to mail something or personally give it to them. And if you wanted to collect leads, you needed a fishbowl or a Dropbox for business cards, or you had to personally collect names and store them somewhere and keep updating, make sure that you update them manually. Now, the nice thing is now we don't have a Rolodex as much anymore. I'm sure some of us still have a Rolodex floating around. We have these beautiful devices that can house so much information. So it does make it a little bit easier, which is great. So having websites can change a whole lot of that. Now you can send people to get informed on different topics 24/7 anywhere in the world, and you never have to ask them to mail it back to you. So we don't have to worry about videos never making it back, or DVDs, CDs never making it back to you. So your websites serve all sorts of purposes. So let's review a little bit about them in the next section. So the types of sites that you can use. Okay, so there's several types of websites. There are info or brochure style, and most distributors create these. They are the least effective websites because they're really info packed. They're bogged down with a lot of information, and we know how people's attention spans are these days. It's a little challenging to keep them there. Not saying that they're completely ineffective, but they definitely don't work as well. The second is e-commerce or shopping sites. So that would be your PWS. Okay. Then there's lead capture sites, webinar registration sites, personal branding content sites, and blogs. Okay. And we discovered the most effective types of sites are lead capture sites. So webinar registrations, and the reason is because they help you attract leads that you can follow up with. And they also keep it to like a one topic thing that's very simple. They can download something in return, which is also great, or attend a webinar, that type of thing. You can then personally guide people to your Shaklee shop after the fact. We also discovered the power of a personal branding site and a blog. These two are very nice because the personal branding site is putting you front and center, and the blog is your voice, right? It's your opinions. That's where you put all those great things. And then you have these connect to your Shaklee shop. So I'm going to go live into my dashboard and I'm going to show you the site layout, so how you can find the different types of sites. We're going to talk about when to decide which sites to promote. So when do you promote which ebook, that type of thing. How do you share your sites on social media? And we'll cover a couple extra tidbits on these as well. So let me just stop share and switch things over to here. Share that screen. Awesome. Okay, so here from the dashboard, and I'll get my little spotlight because we know it's so much nicer. Oh, didn't want a spotlight. Spotlight didn't want a spotlight. There we go. Now it wants the spotlight. Okay, so let's talk about the site layout first. Okay, so how do you find your sites? What sites do you have? So that's where it comes down to this website quick view. So that little thing up at the top, it's the first button to the left of your actions button. And when you click on that, this is where you get the layout, right? Where is everything? And what's really cool about this is each of these pictures is a clickable link. So it will open up whichever site it is that you want to see. Okay, so the first one that you'll have front and center is your hub site. Over to the right, you have your wellness center. Okay, and then below that, we have your webinar registration pages over here. So just a reminder that the link URL address never changes for the webinars. So you don't have to worry about getting a new link each time. It will always stay the same. And then over here, we have your lead capture websites. So everything from your explore opportunity, which is a lead capture, because after those first 4 videos, they put in their information, the how to build an online business, and then we have the wellness focused ones. So the 7 big secrets. There's the MindWorks one. There's the what your doctor wasn't taught, and my personal favorite, the vitamin checklist. So this is the layout, and then of course you have your blog. So if you have the blog enabled, this is where you would find that, and you can get to your blog really, really easily from there. I'm not going to focus too much on how to use the blog. We'll have a separate 101 for that. But this is a great place too, where you can promote any of these lead captures. So this is where you can find the basics. So now let's talk about, when do you decide which sites to promote? Because there are a lot of things in here that you can promote. So obviously with the webinar registration pages, that's when we have a webinar ready to go, right? When the webinar registration page is live, that's when I would promote that. We try to have those up a couple weeks beforehand, so you've got plenty of time to promote it, and I would promote it often, a couple times a week leading up to the event. And how you want to schedule it, that's entirely up to you. It depends on how your social media runs. There's no right or wrong time. It's just that you do it. I mean, I guess the wrong time after the fact is it doesn't apply because we have replays. So it's all good. You just wouldn't necessarily be promoting those links. You'd be promoting the lead or the replay link. So that's when the webinar registrations come into effect, is when we have an event. That's when you would use those. Now let's talk about these ones over here. Now with the Wellness Center, and the one thing that we don't have in here just yet is also the wellness funnel. So the Explore Wellness piece, which sits on top of your Wellness Center. So I'm going to open up my hub site just so I can show this to you. So if you're ever wondering what to do or why can't you find it in there, is because we put it on after the fact. So we don't have everything completely up to date as we're working on the new website. So it's just, we're kind of in a make do process, and it's only a make do for us. That's the great piece about it. Our customers wouldn't even know the difference. So what I would do is I would go to your hub site, click on Explore Wellness, and then make sure you bookmark this page. And I just labeled mine. So if I go into business, I labeled mine Explore. Oh, there it is. Explore Wellness. Okay. I would just have that one up front and ready to go. It's handy. So when do you use all of these? Now here's my recommendation, is you don't have to use all of them. Don't feel like you do. Whoops, I pushed a button. Darn buttons. Don't feel like you have to use each and every one of the ebooks. Okay. I would recommend pick 1, maybe 2 ebooks that you focus in on. So for me, my favorite is the vitamin checklist. The reason I like that is because they can print it off and have a checklist with them as they're in the vitamin store so that they can go through, right? I want them to be able to use this whether they purchase my product or not. However, at the end of it, it is of course talking about Vitaly and how it is so special, and it ticks all of those boxes anyways. Okay, that's why I really like it. The other one that you might want to consider if you're business focused and you want to talk about that is the business one, which is the Beginner's Guide to an Online Business ebook. Okay, this is fantastic. And actually, out of all of the ebooks that I have, this one gets downloaded the most. Okay, so I would go through the ebooks, see which one or two do you want to focus on, and those are what you focus on when it comes to ebooks. Now, when it comes to the other pieces of lead capture, and I think I've said this on Marketing Monday before, if you focus on your 2 funnels and that's all you promote out and leave the ebooks alone, that's going to give you the best benefit, the absolute best benefit. And so if it came down to it and I had to choose between, am I going to promote my ebooks or am I going to promote my funnels? I'm always going to promote my funnels. Those give the best information. And it's on both ends of the spectrum. You get to talk business and product. Okay. So now I hope this didn't confuse anything, but when it comes down to it, the other thing you could do, so there's going to be a lot of I could do. So your job will be to take down and decipher and distill down this information and say, okay, what's going to work for me? Because there's a lot to work with in here. So if it came down to it, I'm always going to go with my funnels. And if, say, I was doing the event for the vitamin checklist or for the 7 big secrets to losing weight, that's something that I would give as a gift at the end of that event. So if you're doing your own event, that's where those would fit in so smoothly. Okay. So I hope I'm not confusing anybody with this because there is so much in here. So if you're confused or if you have anything that you need me to clarify on, when do you decide which ones to promote? Please type it in the chat and I will do my best to clarify. But my thing is pick 1, maybe 2 things that you're going to just focus on and you'll just alternate those. So the thing with promoting websites is it can get very boring for us because it just feels like it's the same old routine. That's business, right? That's the business strategy part. It's okay if it's boring. It's kind of going to be a little bit boring, but that's okay. Because what's happening is it's not boring for the people on the outside who haven't seen it yet. So you might have been doing it for 3 to 6 months of where you're alternating, you're promoting your business funnel, the next week you're promoting your wellness funnel, business funnel, wellness funnel, business funnel, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is getting so monotonous. And then all of a sudden you reach those people who they haven't seen it yet, and this is the most exciting thing they've ever seen. Okay, so that's one thing I want you to just keep in mind is when it comes to promoting, it's a matter of you're going to do it until. What's your until? Is it until you reach your income level? It isn't until you reach a team of this size. Whatever your until is, you're going to do it until you get there. Okay. So don't get too caught up in, especially at the beginning, it's like, oh my gosh, I've done 2 promo posts and I've been promoting my lead captures and nothing's happening. That's only 2. Give it time and just keep going. You're going to do it until and you'll tweak it. Okay. So I hope that helps a little bit. So just know that there are a lot of things that you can use in here to promote. And it's just a matter of pick your 1, I would say 2 things, maybe 3. So if you did 3, I would do your funnels, always your funnels, and then pick an ebook. That was a weird 3. Pick an ebook. Okay. Always the funnels, pick an ebook. Your webinar registration pages are going to come in when we have an event, which is once a month. So you don't have to worry too much about incorporating that in on a weekly basis. That's you add in monthly. Okay, so does that help a little bit give some clarity on, what should I use? How many things should I use? So on a weekly basis, you'll have 3 things, and then once a month, you'll add in your webinar. And that's it. That's all you need to focus on. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, so I totally understand the ebooks, and I understand that they're more gifts. Do you give them only with an event that you are holding, like I'm holding, or do I give it at the end of a wellness tour or a business tour?
You can. You definitely can if you find out what their interest is.
Yeah.
Because once they create their account, whether it's in the wellness center or the business center, it's easy for them to get access to it. You just have to show them where it is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
just
you can
know
send
that,
it to them too, right?
yeah, you can send it to them too and just say, hey, I just wanted to say thank you. Based on our conversation, I thought this would be of help to you if you had any further questions. So if you're taking someone through the business tour and they've gone through that first section, they've created their account, and then you send them the online guide or the guide to starting an online business and say, hey, I hope this helps clarify any questions. Awesome. And then same thing with the wellness side, you could send them the what your doctor wasn't taught or the vitamin checklist, which is all based around the nutrition side of things.
Okay. Well, I've got you. I also, the other day, in fact, it was yesterday morning, I went in and I actually saw the presentation on hair thinning. And I went through it because I thought, okay, this is interesting. This can also be given, you know, as a presentation or whatever. And then I clicked on some of the links. None of the links worked.
Oh, can you
put all the I already did. I
Perfect.
submitted a ticket, but I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I didn't go through the rest of them, but how many
that's fine.
other links aren't working? So I told them in the ticket, I said, please look at all of them and check them because the links to the products weren't working. The learn more wasn't working. The shop wasn't working to go to me. I mean, it was everything in it that had a link did not work.
Okay. Yeah. And if you put a ticket in for that, then they'll take care of that. So that's great. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
We had them. So the reason that may have happened is because we did take them all out and then we put them all in because of the legal stuff that we were dealing with Shackley, and they said you got to take things out. So we took it out to be on the safe side and then put them back in, and there just might have been some hiccups.
Okay. All right.
So that's great. That's great. Okay. So the main thing here, folks, is, like I said, there's a lot that you can share and promote here. Simplify it down to your core 2 to core 3. Okay. And that's what you focus on. It'll make it so much easier. Then you always know what you're promoting and you don't have to worry about, bogging down yourself with anything.
Okay. And promote this, of course, in just your business Facebook page and not your personal, and then cross it over to your personal.
Yes, you got it, Kathy.
Okay. I got to start really doing this on a regular basis.
Well, and here's the thing, and we're going to be talking about this in NWU, and I don't want to go off track too much, but when you do it that way, it opens up so much more freedom on your personal page to keep things personal. And then it helps give your business page more exposure. And then you're staying in compliance with everything. You don't have to worry about being out of compliance with terms of services of Facebook. And it helps to give that business page the exposure that we want it to have. And it sets you up in a more professional manner too, because you're doing things professionally.
So in other words, the business page, we can mention supplements and all of that, or we're still limited on what we can mention and what we can't.
You can, you just have to be careful of how are you talking about it. Are you talking about it in a way that it's helping diseases? And then is Shackley attached to that somewhere on your page? So whether it's your link, a post that you did a while ago that mentioned Shackley, now you've got this post that's talking about supplementation and how it,
Okay. So we definitely can't mix supplementation, disease and Shackley at all.
You got it.
So keep them all Shackley out of the picture.
Don't let them touch.
Don't let them touch. Okay. So, and disease, don't even bother going there because that's just a downfall for FDA, period.
And the big thing too, folks, is when you're doing your posts, you want it to attract, to encourage people to ask you questions, right? So if you have company and product name all over the place, they don't have to ask you questions. They can go on Google and then they find someone else to buy it through. The whole goal is we want them to ask us questions so then we can work with them.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Good question.
A little bit more. Yeah.
No problem. So then let's talk about sharing your sites on your social pages. So I'm going to take the Explore Opportunity, for example. So here's our Explore Opportunity, and I just go view and it'll open it right up to that Explore page. Also, highly recommend bookmarking any of the lead captures that you want to use the most. So then you don't have to log into YFP all the time, bookmark them. So I've got my Explore Wellness here. I've got my Explore Opportunity. And then somewhere in here, I have the vitamin checklist and I've got Explore Wellness a couple times. So this is good.
Okay. Another question. I'm sorry. I'm full of questions today. Bookmark. I went into mine and I thought I knew how to bookmark. I know how to bookmark just the regular bookmarks, but to get them right up on that line of yours, how do you get them out of the normal list?
Oh, out of your big list into your,
You're booked up on the top.
This is good. Okay. So once you bookmark it, you go to the little hickey-do that gives you the rest.
Yep.
and then they'll all just show up here. And it's just a matter of, let's take my area code ones. You click and you drag it, and then you just find where you want it to go and you go plop.
Okay, so you're dragging it right from that list right over
from that
to
list, and it'll always show up at the bottom
okay.
of that if you have a long, if you have a bunch of bookmarks. I have to go clean mine up apparently.
Oh, you don't have to clean yours up as much as I have to clean mine up. I just kept bookmarking and everything. So mine's a total disaster. So
that's good. That makes me
but
feel
now
a lot
I
better.
know how to do that, and that will automatically put it right up to the top and keep it there.
It'll put it actually at the bottom of the list, and then you can click and drag it
to where you want
to go up higher. Yeah.
Okay. And if you want to take it out of that line, how do you do that without destroying it?
You just click it and drag it, and then you can put it here.
Okay, but what if you want to put it back into the normal? Just curious. Normal list.
Then you just go over here, drop it, and it'll. Where did it go?
Okay, so drag it and drop it back into that list.
Yeah, and then it'll show up either at the end here or at the bottom of this list.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, that's like the copy and paste. I couldn't
This is important because if you're going to be bookmarking them, you need to know how to get them into the spot you need. So this is perfect.
And then if you take your regular list and there's something you want in one of the bookmarks up on the top, you just drag it over and stick it in that bookmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Thank you.
You got it. This is good. Okay, so you're going to explore the opportunity. Okay, you want to share, that's the link you want people to go to. There's a couple ways you can do it. So if you copy, Julianne, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Kathy because that was my question too. Thank you, Kathy.
See?
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Oh, that's me. Hold on a second. I got to go into my Facebook page. Okay, so how I do things and how I found works the best. Again, this keeps you compliant with everything across the board. It helps you stay looking professional in your business, right? Because you're doing business on a business page. Anything where I'm doing a promotion, I want it done on my business page, and then I share it to my personal page. Okay, whether it's a product related thing or a business related thing. This is the rule I've set for myself. You can choose to use this rule if you like. It's by no means copyrighted by me, so you're good. But that's what I want to do. And I also want to get the page more exposure. So first thing I would do is I would copy this link. I would go copy. Okay. And now there's a couple ways to do this. So when I'm doing my promo posts, I want to use a different. So here, if I go like this, it's going to pull an image. This will get you the least amount of reach when you use the image that is pulled from the website. So what I would do is I would have your link, get rid of that image, and put up an image of you working at your desk or you having a coffee in the sun. However you want to angle that post. And then when you do the post, talking about what has this business afforded you, right? What have you been able to experience because you have an online business? And it's not meant to be gloaty, and we don't want to be, how at least I do it, you don't want to be putting down any other professions, but just, what have you gotten out of a benefit? And you can create a little piece of your story in that. And if you want some great examples, I'm going to grab a couple that I've been working with one of my coaching clients with on her permission. I have to get her permission first.
Okay, before you do that, before you leave that section, how did you take that particular computer picture out?
Okay, so if I go in here, I think I should be able to make this happen again. So see this little X? There'll be a little X right on top of it. You just click that and it's gone.
Okay, and then
you go into your photos, add a photo.
Okay.
And then you grab something
that you have of your own.
Of you, yep. So let's say if I go here, I've got a picture. Yeah, I'll just be gloaty about it. So then you grab whatever photo you want, open it up, and that will replace it. So this won't make it clickable. Only the link will be clickable, but Facebook prefers it this way and it'll give it better reach. So those are just some little things in between. Same thing with your ebooks.
Okay.
So your ebook will have an automatically generated image. Get rid of that and find a picture of you. Now I know this is where it can get a little tricky This is going to be a little bit of social media training at the same time. I know it can feel really awkward having your face with your business posts, but you want people to see you. So don't be afraid to have like something if you're doing, say, the 7 big secrets to losing weight, that you have you doing a physical activity. Or if it's the vitamin checklist, you taking your vitamins, something like that that can encompass what it is that you're promoting. Okay. Even if you get a generic photo, you know, you can get a lot of stock photos that relate to it. That's even better than using the automatically generated image. Okay. So then you,
Kristen, I'm sorry, I have a question about the personal photo. Do we put the personal photo on our business page as well as after we share it?
you only have to put it on your business page, because when you share it, that photo will automatically populate over in your share.
I was thinking about doing it just with the stock that comes with it, and when I share it to my personal page, then put my picture on it.
I would do it
No?
right from the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay.
Right from the beginning. Yeah. Because once you have like one, you got to think Facebook and actually any social media, they want people to stay on social, right? So
Mhm.
putting a link right away that takes them off Facebook kind of gives you a bit of a dock in the algorithm. But if you have it where the photo is also a clickable link, that gives it an extra dock. So anytime that you can just remove as many of those docks against the algorithm is the best.
Okay. I also linked my Facebook and my Instagram together.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Way to go, Eileen. That is so helpful.
Yeah.
It helps you so much in the long run. Okay, so then you do your post. Now I'm not doing this post right now because I have to create my other post. So I'm going to discard that. But then you have, actually, you know what? Let's just do this. So I'm going to do this. I'll do a great photo of myself. I don't have any clever text today, so I'll use this one, open and post. Okay, so let's pretend that I put my story in there. We'll just pretend for right now, just so you can get a feel for it. I didn't have anything ready to go. So then you have your post, you've had your, you know, the story there, and then it's, hey, if you want to learn how I got into what I'm doing, you can click the link below and explore a new opportunity or a new possibility for getting ahead. And then they can open that up and off they go. And they'll land right here where they can watch those videos, right? The other thing you can do too is share it over to your personal profile. Again, just a little caveat, make sure that you change how you're interacting and that you change it to you're interacting as your personal profile. It'll take a second to reload. Apparently it didn't want to populate my other post yet. Oh, and it changed me back. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, but that's okay. And this will be something too we're going to be talking more of in NWU, by the way, is how to really utilize the business page with your profile in a way to attract more people to you. Okay, so there we go. So now I have it, and then I could share it public to my personal page. And that's going to help give your business page more exposure. Okay, so that's how I would do it. So pick your 2 to 3 things that you want to promote, and then you don't have to promote them a whole lot either, which is beautiful. It doesn't have to be a daily thing. Once a week, if you're putting a promo post out and you alternate between those 3 things or those 2 things. So one week it's a wellness, next week is business, one week it's wellness, one week is business, and just pick a day. And that's where you put the biggest focus of your post creation, right? Content creation into it. That's going to give you some great benefit. And then making sure that you're also sharing it from your business page to your personal page.
In other words, if you're on your personal page and you would like the business to come over to the personal page,
Yes.
then go to your business page, turn it to personal,
Yes.
then share it.
Share it over.
Right?
So whether it's your ebook, your funnels, that's honestly, I've been experimenting with this. And again, in NWU, I'm going to be going into detail of the process that I've been working on since the beginning of the year. That is working really, really well.
Is this from the conversation you had with Coach Jody?
Yes, from the conversation that I had with Coach Jody back at the beginning or end of last year, beginning of this year. Okay. And it's been working really well, and it's solely attraction based.
Okay.
And so I'll explain more of that when we get into NWU. So
And
if you're in
Eileen,
NWU or you want to be there,
Eileen mentioned, she sunk, synced her Facebook with her Instagram. I
Yep.
think mine is, but I don't know. How can I make sure that mine is or is not?
you would have to go into your account settings.
Okay.
What I would do, Kathy, is I would just Google search, how do I sync or how do I link up my Instagram with my Facebook, and it'll walk
Okay.
you through it.
Okay, I could do
It's,
that.
it's a few steps, but
Yeah.
okay.
Google and videos
Google
are
is the
great.
best. So that's the basics of it. So when you're sharing your lead captures, like on social media, make sure you're taking off the auto-generated image, put up an image of your own, and then sharing a little story, a little piece of your story behind why it is, why are you deciding to share that particular piece? Why is that particular lead capture? So for me, if it's the vitamin checklist, part of my story is I used vitamins all my life. And then I didn't realize that half of them, more than half of it, I was, disposing of down the toilet. And it wasn't doing me any benefit. And I didn't actually notice a difference until I changed over supplements. And I wonder, why is this the way it is? What did I need to be looking for? Here's the checklist that I should have had at that time. That's how I would frame that for my story. So think about it for your story too. Same thing with the business, right? What is it that you got to be sharing a little piece of your story? Again, staying away from income claims, staying away from, disease claims, that type of thing, if you can. But something that would, think about who were you before, who are you after, and what was it that made the big difference into why you do what you do.
Yeah, very good.
Groovy. Awesome. Well, thank you.
You can't mention disease or sickness, but you can mention how you spent an awful lot of time on the couch.
There's always a way around it.
Yeah.
And we sometimes just got to be clever and sometimes just put ourselves out there, give it a go. And if they say take it down, let's take it down and try again.
It's called beating around the bush.
Yes, we beat around the bush.
Yeah, a lot.
There we go around the mulberry bush.
If you've had kids, that's what you got to do. You'll learn that real quick.
Yes, beat around the bush. So that's that. So the main thing is when it comes to promoting, simplify it for you. We have a lot of things that you can share, and we have that because we know there's a lot of different personalities and a lot of different stories. So we want to make sure we can cater to everybody. And this is kind of where it's our job as distributors to go through and be like, okay, this fits my story, this fits my story, and this fits my story. These are what I'll focus on, and that's it. Let the rest go. And if it makes sense and you have someone who asks for specific information and you have the ebook for it, then obviously send it to them. Don't say, oh, I don't send that one. No, you still send it to them if they want the info. But when it comes to you just actively promoting, stick to 2 to 3 things, and that's it. Keep it simple. All right. So with that, let me get over to my next page and we'll close this off for today. And I really hope this was helpful and hope it helped you gain a little bit of clarity on utilizing lead captures, because what all these lead captures do is they help to build your marketing list, right? They help to build your email list. And if that's the only thing you focus on this year, you're going to have some pretty good success out of the deal, right? So focus on building that list is honestly one of the top priorities for me. So I would recommend putting that at least close to the top of your list. All right, so if you're brand new to YFP and you want to learn about how you can start using our tools for your Shack Lead business, there's a couple ways you can do that. So the first one is you can subscribe and choose a plan that fits your marketing needs, select any add-ons, and then book an onboarding appointment. And you can see all of our pricing and plans by going to yourfreedomproject.com/pricing. If you're not quite sure, but you want to try things out, you can take a fully functional 30-day test drive. Let me just move this over. There we go. Fully functional 30-day test drive of the whole tools. You can start trying out the system, utilizing these lead capture pages, and start building your marketing list at no cost. And then you can also book a support appointment, and the elves will help you make sure that all the integrations are done the way they need to be. And you can do that by going to yourfreedomproject.com/trial. And the last way to learn more is you can contact us. You can visit our help center and request a guided tour from one of our expert guides. You can join also our YFP Facebook group for business builders. This is open to any and all Shaklee distributors. The only requirement is they have to be a distributor. That's it. And you can do that by going to yourfreedomproject.com/support. And then, whoops, I got these in the wrong. Oh, no, I didn't. So to book an appointment to get into our help center, this is where you would do that for that third option. Let me just get my drawy pencil out so I can circle things for you all. So a couple things is if you do need to give us a call, we have our phone number up at the top here. You can give us a call there. This is where you would join our Facebook group. And again, the only requirement is you have to be a distributor. If you're having any technical issues, you can submit a ticket. This is also where you can view any of your tickets and see the correspondence between each of the elves. And then here is where you would book an appointment. So if you're wanting that guided tour of the funnels, this is where you would book the appointment and one of our expert guides will help you with that. And then if you're just needing a quick chat, you have a question that needs to be, handled relatively quickly, you can chat with an elf and it'll link you to that elf's Facebook Messenger. I believe mine is also in there. So if you ever want to message with me, you can grab it there. Unless we're friends on Facebook, then of course you already have access to me. So that's great. And you can get to the help center by going to yourfreedomproject.com/support. So until next time, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're feeling empowered to do more of your Shaklee business online and utilizing the great online tools. I know it sometimes is a little bit scary, but I gotta say the fact that you're here, you all owe yourselves a big pat on the back for even wanting to explore it. And just a quick reminder for those of you in NWU, I know I touched on a few things that we're going to be talking about in NWU. So if you are in NWU, I really look forward to seeing you on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to be talking about the Facebook profile, why it's important, and also helping you set it up. So last week we talked about groups, joining groups and mingling with people. And then now we're going to talk about profile so that as you're making friends, your profile is solid. It's solid, it's inviting. And I know on Marketing Monday, we talked about doing a little assessment of your profile. And is it, if it was someone else's face on that profile, would you feel comfortable sending a friend request or reaching out or getting to know them?
Okay. Kristen, I'd like to make one, just so that you know, I know at 8 o'clock Thursday is also Roger from Shaklee is going to be on.
Yeah,
So,
Shaklee's having a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
for
fine.
all the leaders. So I know I won't be there, but I want the recording. So
oh
I
yeah,
can see
that's
it
why
later.
we record it. So that's not a problem, and that's actually good to know. So just in case we're like, where is everybody? Now we know where everybody is.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. And
That's
it's
perfect.
supposed to, I don't know if it's going to be a half an hour or an hour or 2
Okay.
hours or whatever. So
That's fine. And if it
Okay.
ends early, just come on over when it's
Yeah,
done.
we
That's
will.
great. And yeah, this will be recorded and it'll be actually right in the NWU Facebook group. So you can come back
Oh.
and watch it right away that
Right
night.
away. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I'll do is maybe once we're done, I'll just pin it to a featured up at the top of the group so it's easy to find.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Because I don't want to
Awesome.
miss this one because I need it.
It's gonna be good. I think I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
So
same
this
here.
is great. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being here today. We'll see you Thursday if you're able to make it. And if not, we'll see you on the replay. And then I'll see you next Monday for Marketing Monday. Take care,
Thank you
everyone.
so much.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you.